This podcast is part of Mishmash Media. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good. Good to see you again after lockdown, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's good to be back in the same room.
Oh, man, I know, right? When I saw your face today, when you walked in the door, I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
I mean, that's a normal reaction that everyone has. Even if they've seen my face an hour ago, people still feel that way. So that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, every time you come over, it's just like,
Yeah.
It's like a ray of light.
Yeah, doves fly out from behind me, and there's angels singing in the background.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm basically Jesus.
Yes, you can probably hear angels in the background right now.
Totally, yeah. You've got a lot of work to do in post-production to edit out those angels.
No, I'm keeping them in.
Oh, fair enough. We want to share the angel experience with our audience.
Yeah. Those who listen to us.
Our large Curbcast audience.
Indeed. And this is Curbcast, and welcome to Season 4. This is Episode 1, and my name is Ivan.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are back after 3 seasons of Curbcast, and with Season 3, you probably noticed that we recorded those a bit earlier in 2020, and I think, late 2020, early 21?
Sometime in 2020. Time's kind of lost significance over the last 18 months, so let's just say 2020.
Yeah. So, but we are recording these in late 2021. Yeah, it is November 2021, so we are recording them in real time, and they are going to go up. And and we hope you've enjoyed the last 3 seasons of Curbcast, and we're looking forward to bringing Season 4. And for Stephen and I, it's actually the first time we're watching Season 4.
Yeah, so with this podcast for Season 1, 2, and 3, I think Ivan had seen Seasons 1 and 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, many months before, yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically, as we review them, it's our first watch. So we are massive Seinfeld fans. We are massive Larry David fans. So far, we're massive Curb fans. So it is a fresh watch for us as we go along.
It is. And we do have a Patreon page for our burgeoning podcast network, Mishmash Media, which we started a little while ago. Originally, we were doing some bonus content and a few other things as well, but we're going to change the channel just to say if you want to just help support us, you can swing a couple of dollars a month, and we're really sorry we can't give you any bonus stuff at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Mishmash Media is a network that we, like Ivan just said, we started a little while ago. We do have one existing podcast under the network name, our previous Seinfeld podcast, and that's how Curbcast kind of started. It was a bit of a spin out from that.
Yeah.
But Mishmash is a network that we do want to grow over the next little while. So in the future, we will be offering bonus content, but for now, it would just be supporting us if you feel so kind to do.
Yeah, for sure. So we just thought we'd put it out there, but we will update the Patreon page to reflect that as well.
Indeed.
So, Steve, you had some, before we do get into Mel's offer, you do have some Curb news, right?
Yeah, so I'm sure every Curb fan knows that Season 11 premiered recently. October 24 was the start date for Season 11, and just wanted to mention a bit about how it's been received. So there's always a lot of anticipation when it comes to new Curb seasons. I think because it's not it is a popular show, but it's not broadly popular.
No.
It is somewhere between popular and cultish.
It's almost like a popular cult show, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Kind of.
Yeah, and because Larry David has so much cachet, he's got cachet at the yin yang.
Cachet at the yin yang, baby.
From Seinfeld.
Yes.
I think anything he does will attract a pretty large audience anyway.
Yeah.
The reviews have been pretty good so far. On Rotten Tomato, I think it's got 19 reviews. And Rotten Tomato, in case you've been living under a rock.
Plural.
Oh, tomatoes. Just one
right.
Just one Rotten Tomato.
Yeah. It's like a website, and on the front page, it's literally like a moldy tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's a supply chain shortage at the moment. Food's going up. They can only afford one tomato, okay?
They only can, I know. That's all you can get.
Yeah.
And with inflation, that tomato's like $5.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That's going to feed the whole, whoever runs that website, that's going to feed them all for months.
Damn inflation.
Yeah. They can't even afford one fresh tomato. It's just one rotten tomato.
That's all it is, yeah.
It's gotten 100% across the reviewers.
Fabulous.
On Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool. The fan reception, though, again, on Rotten Tomatoes, and I know Rotten Tomatoes is not the only, way to assess fandom, but I think it's pretty, it's pretty reliable. It's only got 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Still a good score, though.
Yeah, overall, still pretty good. It is important as well to note that as of recording on November, what's today, 14?
Yeah.
We are only 3 episodes into the season, so that score may go up as the season goes on and on. But
sure.
Yeah, just wanted to sort of touch on that because I think it's important.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, really good. Well, we're not quite at season 11 yet, buddy. We're at season 4, so we're well behind. We've got plenty of seasons to get ahead of us.
A couple of years of episodes to go.
Possibly, maybe a bit more. Anyway, we are doing season 4, episode 1, Mel's Offer, aired in the US on January 4th, 2004. In this one, Mel Brooks sees Larry performing some karaoke at a bar one night and is quickly impressed with his singing abilities. He then invites Larry to audition to star in a Broadway production of The Producers in the the lead role.
Yeah.
Max. Oh my God. But the deal quickly goes south once Mel hits Larry in the head, and Larry's doctor drills on him. And you probably recognise the doctor, Dr. Morrison. That's Philip Baker Hall. He played Bookman in Seinfeld's The Library.
Yeah, he was Mr. Bookman in Seinfeld, and now he's Dr. Bookman.
Dr. Bookman. Dr. Stethoscope.
Yeah.
Dr. Prostate Check.
Doctor Finger Up the Bum.
Yes. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, he's in that. So Philip Baker Hall, but he seems a little bit more cheery in this one compared to his authoritative Bookman. He still has a bit of authority about him, especially with the doctor's phone.
Yeah, he's still keen on Larry following the rules, but he's not as intense.
No,
he's a bit more relaxed about it. He's a bit more reasonable. Like, hey, this is just a rule. Don't use the phone. He's not. He doesn't go on like long tirades about how, like when he goes on his tirade in the library, it's like a social commentary and you know a big sort of a weird like ideological tirade. And it's just cool, man.
Yeah, there's certainly a prick involved.
Yeah.
There is one prick.
There is exactly one prick.
There is exactly one prick. Anyway, we'll talk about that scene a little bit later, but we'll get to the opening scene. Larry and Cheryl are at an Italian restaurant trying to understand the Italian-speaking waiter. Larry orders the first thing, and Cheryl orders the second thing, as they don't understand what he's saying. Cheryl reminds Larry of their 10th anniversary that's coming up, and she says that she wants Larry to keep an open mind as she asks Larry to renew their vows and to have a wedding ceremony, and Larry is happy with it, provided it is a small ceremony. Cheryl is surprised that he wants to do it, and he didn't argue about it at all. Larry thinks that his present has already been agreed upon, as a flashback occurs, where Cheryl thinks that her and Larry should be married. They're in the same restaurant, in the same table, 10 years before. Cheryl says that she wants to change her name to David, which Larry is confused about. When you're a David, you try not to become a David. You don't get out of being a David. Cheryl suggests if they get married now, then in 10 years, Larry can have sex with anyone he wants when that day arrives. Why do you think Cheryl was thinking that in the past? I feel like at that point before they got married, maybe Cheryl was really enamored by Larry, and I think maybe she's like, you know what, I love this guy so much. I'd do anything for him, even he can have sex with someone on our 10th anniversary.
I think that's a reasonable take. My take was that she understands Larry can be a bit hard to pin down. You know, not that he's like some player. He's not a ladies' man at all. He's an awkward old man.
As we see in later scenes, he tries to pick up. And
I mean, even 10 years ago, he looked like Woody Harrelson. Like he's even more
Woody
so.
Woody Allen, you mean?
Well, sorry, yeah, Woody Allen, not Woody Harrelson.
I was going to say chiseled like Woody Harrelson.
I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely not Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Definitely Woody Allen.
I love how he just coloured his like hair.
Yeah, it looks like bad off the shelf brown like old man dye.
Yeah, it's good.
I think she was trying to incentivize him to say yes. You know, maybe she was a bit uncertain, or maybe she didn't think that he was like fully brought into the idea of marrying her.
Yeah.
So she dangles this in front of him, you know, as a bit of a carrot. Like, well, if you say yes, in 10 years you can have sex with someone else. I don't know. Or maybe it was that she was just so besotted with him. Wow, I'm marrying Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, this was like, assuming they were married for 10 years, this episode came out in 2004. They would have been married in 1994. That's like
height of Seinfeld.
Almost like height of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Peak Seinfeld. So
True.
Larry was like a big time guy.
True.
So maybe that kind of brought Cheryl on as well. Not just, obviously didn't marry him just because of the money or the fame or whatever, but that kind of added to it as well.
Well, I mean, you'd be impressed.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be attracted, you know, people are attracted to people's success.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Not to say that she's superficial. It just means that, wow, I'm going to marry the guy who wrote Seinfeld. That's really cool.
Yeah, really cool. And I feel like she probably didn't know enough about his neuroticism.
No.
She was like completely unaware.
And he probably wasn't as neurotic back then. He had less time to be neurotic.
Because he was so busy on the show.
Yeah. You know, I mean, obviously he's always neurotic, but when you've got something that just would take over your whole life, you've got less. I mean, half of Curb is him just wandering around, just stumbling into awkward situations by saying or doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
It's because he doesn't do anything.
No,
he's got so much free time. He can say, yeah, I can be in The Producers, as we'll find out a bit later on.
Unbelievable.
You know, if he was running Seinfeld and Mel Brooks said, hey, do you want to be in The Producers? He'd say, I don't have time to scratch my bum. So yeah, he wasn't as neurotic at the time for for various reasons.
No, for various reasons, no. And the scene later returns to the present where Larry remembers what Cheryl said, and she says that Larry can do it, and that Larry offers not to do it. She's like, oh, don't worry about it.
I was just kidding.
Cheryl insists on it, and she says that Larry should only do it if he thinks he can get with someone, because Cheryl's like, I don't think you'll be able to get with anyone.
Oh yeah, she heavily implies, more or less suggests that like you don't have it in you.
No.
You don't have the skills or the balls to have sex with someone else. You know, like you just can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, I feel insulted.
Yeah.
And Cheryl confirms that if he can find someone to have sex with him, then she will give Larry permission to do so until their anniversary rolls around in 3 months' time.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So he's got the deadline. So I feel like because we've only watched the first, like for the purposes of recording, we've only watched the first 3 episodes of this season.
Yep.
I assume the themes for this one will be Larry preparing for the producers.
Yep.
And Larry trying to get his 10th anniversary fund.
Yeah, they don't waste any time setting up the season long plot lines. Like, that's a pretty common thing we've noticed so far during Curb is last year was the restaurant.
That's right.
The year before was the season before was
Larry trying to get that deal with the networks.
That's right.
For the new show.
Yeah. And was there one in season 1?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was a long running theme.
No.
So.
There were some ongoing themes, but
like
I don't
the
think there were
over the yard.
Yeah,
and
but there
stuff.
wasn't an overarching theme.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, straight away they're just Larry's pursuit of having sex before their anniversary, and the producers, they're just hitting the ground running.
They are. In the next scene, the Davids are heading to a karaoke bar after dinner, and Cheryl says she doesn't want to go. She suggests sex at home, but Larry still wants to go. They arrive at the bar where Mel Brooks is performing on stage. Jeff and Larry are talking about Larry's present. Jeff is happy for him. They try and figure out who he can have sex with. Jeff points to a lady standing next to them. He encourages Larry to go over, and Larry says he won't be that good at it. He goes to the lady's side and starts a conversation with her. He goes on one of his Larry rants about going bowling and using bowling balls as the lady gets confused and a bit awkward about the encounter.
Yeah.
Larry shows Jeff that he can't pick up. He goes back to Jeff as Mel finishes his song and leaves the stage. The MC calls up Larry to get up on stage and sing karaoke. He starts to sing and gains confidence as he goes with the song. And Mel Brooks seems really impressed.
Yeah, and I was impressed as well. Larry's not an amazing singer, but he has something. He's got a bit of charisma. He can hold a note. Yeah, he's pretty good up on stage.
Or like Mel Brooks quotes, a former actor from the producers, or you got it or you don't.
Yeah, he said, or you got it,
Larry.
Yeah, or you got it or you don't.
Or you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's really what it is. You got it or you don't.
Yeah, he's got the thing.
He does.
Do you like karaoke?
Yeah.
It's good, Something to do at night. There's nothing to do at night. What can you do at night? Bowling, movies. It's like a third thing to do after bowling and the movies. I don't know if you bowl or not. I don't go that often. But it's fun. It's fun. You can't find a ball. That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe you own a bowling ball. I don't own a bowling ball. My whole life, every time I'm in a bowling alley, sticking my fingers in all these holes, picking up the balls. You got to get your own ball. I don't bowl enough, I think, to get my own ball. It takes up a lot of space in the house. You'll keep looking at it in the closet going, what am I doing with a bowling ball? I don't even bowl.
The next day, Larry and Jeff are heading to Mel's office as he wants to see him, and they don't know what it's about. And as they get to the car park, a wheelchair-bound man rolls in front of Larry's car while he's on the phone, and they argue as the man wheels away. So he's like, you cut me off and all this kind of shit, and he's really, he's an aggressive guy.
Yeah.
They arrive at the building foyer where Larry spots a wallet and it's full of money. The duo enter the reception as Larry returns the wallet to Mel's receptionist. She says that the wallet belongs to the wheelchair-bound man from before. All these coincidences on Curb.
Yeah.
Larry explains the incident from before and the receptionist doesn't seem interested. Larry spots an adoption form on the receptionist's desk as she says that her and her partner are adopting. Larry asks for any names that they picked out for their boy who's coming from China. You got Wang,
Tang.
Tang.
Yep. And then he tries to sell Tang because it's a drink.
It's a drink. The names he uses are Wang, Fang, Bang, and Tang. And he says Tang's like China, which is like China, but not China. It's a juice.
Yeah.
And Jeff is just looking embarrassed, and the receptionist looks very angry.
She's very unimpressed.
She is.
Yeah.
Larry heads to the bathroom. Larry is about to open the bathroom door when Mel opens it and hits Larry in the head by accident. He's lying on the floor with a cut on his head. Mel is dismayed at what happened. He apologizes for what happened. Mel goes for help as Larry is lying on the ground. And that cut looks pretty deep.
Yeah.
Which we find out at the doctor's office.
Yeah. I mean, it requires some stitches. So, yeah, serious enough to go to the doctors.
Yeah, there's definitely one prick involved.
Just going back to the start of the scene with Dennis, he's the wheelchair guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's any question of who's in the wrong in this scene, or do you think he should have been watching where he's going, and that just because he's in a wheelchair doesn't mean he can just roll out in front of cars?
I think that was probably what the message was.
Yeah.
I think like the message is like not all disabled people, but
Yep.
I guess it's like kind of like the perception that some disabled people, just because they have a disability, they feel like
Yeah.
they're in the right.
Yep.
You know, like I'm not saying that's the general consensus.
No.
I met many disabled people who are lovely people. But I think that's kind of like, you know, like the joke.
It's
I
a
think
comedic stereotype that they all go around, or not all, but that some of them go around thinking that
they deserve it because
that
of their
sympathy
disability.
should be given in every situation.
And that they're always in the right. I think that's what was the joke.
Yeah.
I feel like in this situation, he probably cut out in front.
Yeah.
And he should have let Larry go through.
Well, to me, it's like, you know, that's his mode of transport. It would be the same as a pedestrian. You know, whether he can walk or not isn't really a factor. It's just giving way. If he was able to walk and he stepped out in front of Larry's car, Larry would say, what are you doing? Like, watch where you're going.
Yeah.
It's not like Larry wasn't watching or he was driving crazily or anything like that. Larry was just driving at a normal speed, watching where he was going in a car park, totally on the pedestrian.
Yeah.
Or in this case, on Dennis.
But I feel like that was the joke. I feel like the joke was he's entitled. He feels he's entitled because of his disability. Yeah.
No, the joke was clear.
Yeah.
I understand the subtext.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, do you think that there was any grey area in this, or that it was all on
It
Dennis?
was all on Dennis.
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. Larry and Jeff are at the medical centre to get Larry's head checked. Larry says he doesn't want to put his name on the register. Jeff and the nurse convince him to sign in. Jeff says, just put any name down. Don't worry about it. They're waiting in the doctor's office, or Larry, sorry. It cuts to him waiting in the doctor's office as a montage plays with him doing various things in the room while waiting. He calls Jeff from the doctor's phone as he is bored to death waiting for the doctor. And as he's chatting to Jeff and hangs up, the doctor walks in. Dr. Morrison, his name is. Dr. Morrison tells him he's not supposed to use the phone.
His name is Dr. Bookman.
Doctor.
I refuse to accept Dr. Morrison. It's Dr. Bookman.
What about Dr. Mormon?
Okay, that's a combination.
Yeah,
That's the Brangelina of him.
that's right. Dr. Mormon.
Dr.
Mormon.
Mormon. Yeah.
Mormon. Yeah, Mormon.
Mookman.
He's probably a Latter-day Saint. Who knows?
could be.
The doctor tells him he's not supposed to use the phone even if it is a local call. Larry downplays it and asks what the problem is. The doctor insists that no one should use the phone. Larry doesn't get it as they get into an argument about it. They come to an agreement as the doctor checks Larry's head. Larry lies down on the bed. The doctor says he'll clean the wound and put some stitches in as Larry apologises for using the phone. The doctor reminds Larry not to ever use a phone in a doctor's office, even though Larry still downplays the phone issue. They passively aggressively start calling each other pricks in reference to what was happening. But you were saying just before, I think off air, we were talking about this before, you think that the doctor was just like playing it straight, and you mentioned prick as in the stitch, whereas
Yeah.
Larry was calling him the prick.
Yeah, Larry was saying, yeah, there is a prick, you know, implying that the doctor's the prick for telling him off about the phone. I think the doctor just, you know, and if anyone else has a different opinion, let me know. But I just think he was saying, yeah, like a prick is in a needle. Like,
Yeah.
I think he was completely oblivious to the passive aggression that Larry was putting out there.
I feel like that too.
Yeah,
yeah. The doctor was just straight laced.
Yeah, he gave no look or no inflection or no anything of like, yeah. But Larry did. He was like, yeah, there's a prick, right? You know, that he sort of, you know, there's that sort of the signals of passive aggression, whereas the doctor was just straightforward, like, yep, a prick.
Yeah,
a
he was
needle.
just being
A needle.
like objective.
Yeah.
A needle,
Yeah.
But Larry didn't think that.
No.
Yeah. Larry feels drool go in his head and he sits up and accosts the doctor for it. And you see the shot of Dr. Morrison and you see like the drool start coming out of his mouth
Yeah.
and then just drops down.
I thought the shot of the drool was a really good production choice, showing it from Larry's point of view.
Yes.
Because it just, I don't know, they could have shot it from just, you know, where you saw both of them, like a normal shot, I guess. I don't know the technical term for it. But, you know, seeing...
money shot.
Yeah, yeah, actually...
For drool.
It kind of is, I
kinda
guess, in a way.
was, in a way.
He did get a facial. He did wind up with some sort of
Fluid on his face.
So,
He did,
you know,
yes.
not totally dissimilar. But yeah, just choosing that as a way to show that, I thought was really good.
Yeah, it was a good angle. And we see that in the final scene as well from
Yeah.
Dr. Morrison's perspective, which we'll explain later on.
Yep.
Larry, because he does get drooled on as well.
Before we get on to the next scene, I just wanted to ask you,
yeah.
again, I'm always intrigued by the moral, I guess, stakes or the moral quandaries that Larry's presented in the show. I was confused because the doctor said, the reasons for not using the phone are so complex, I don't want to bore you. I'm not going to explain it. Just don't use the phone. That's just the way it is. And Larry's like, I don't understand. It's just a phone. Like, I'm not making a long distance conference call.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's not an emergency line. What's the problem? Do you think the doctor realized that I don't actually know why it's a rule, and he just maybe made up, oh, it's so complicated I can't even explain it? And
I think it's probably something like, I think the phone line should only be used, like, I think this is Dr. Morrison's perspective.
Yep.
He probably thinks that the phone line should only be used to call patients.
Right.
And, you know, for like sensitive issues and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I feel like he probably just has like a blanket rule.
Yep.
And he probably doesn't get patients using the phone.
Yeah.
Like, how often would he get a patient using his phone? Like,
no, you wouldn't get many patients
you
like
wouldn't
Larry
get
David.
many like Larry. So he probably, maybe it was the first time he's ever seen a patient use the phone, and he's like, he maybe in the moment it was just spontaneous, and he's like, nah, it's too complex.
Yeah.
I don't want to explain it.
Yeah. I was like, I just couldn't
I don't
figure
think
it out.
there's I don't think there's like a rule saying do not use the phone.
No.
I just
It's
think
just
Larry's like probably one of the only patients in his career who's used the phone and he's seen it. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. And even if other people had used the phone and he had to tell them off, I don't think they would have been so curious as to why he can't use the phone. They would have gone, oh, sorry, I understand. And then they would have respected the rule. But Larry's so questioning, he kind of does need to fudge it a bit to sell the seriousness of why you don't use the phone.
because Larry just can't understand the
Yeah.
fact that, like, this is why you can't use the phone. A normal person like you and me, normal people would be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
Well, yeah, even if you don't understand it, you're like, well, I'm in a doctor's office, a doctor's doing serious work, the phone is for patients.
Probably
and
you've
serious.
got to call patients with like devastating news on that phone.
Yeah,
so
it's-
the
I
phone's kind of
res-
like symbolic.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
respect the sanctity of and the seriousness of this space. But Larry's like, doesn't apply to me. I'm Larry David.
I wrote Seinfeld, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
You
but
prick.
I feel like in that moment, maybe because he was one of the only patients in Morrison's career who's used it.
Yep.
He's probably like in the moment just said it's too complex. Can't
Fair enough.
explain.
Yeah, no, that's a good take.
Also, forgot to mention, Dr. Morrison, he's a fan of Mel Brooks.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, because Larry says Mel Brooks hit him with the door, and he goes, "Oh, Mel Brooks, huh?
Yeah,
I got
he's-
tickets to the producers tonight."
Yeah, his eyes kind of go, oh, Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
he's,
Mel Brooks.
He's a bit curious.
He's a funny guy, huh?
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Yeah, so he's gonna see Mel Brooks. He says,
What is your favorite Mel Brooks movie?
"Blazing Saddles."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you said that without a moment of hesitation.
I've got it on DVD, and look, I know some people, if you watch it these days, it's politically incorrect and all that stuff. But the humor in that film, like, it's like one of those spoof movies with a lot of anachronisms and stuff. But the humor isn't from calling the main character the N-word,
No.
the sheriff. The humor is from the ignorance of the town.
Yeah, the joke is
It's
on
actually,
the
if
joke.
anything,
The
it's
joke
racist.
is
Yeah.
the joke is on the racist people.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
joke isn't. It's not punching down. I mean, some of the topics are a bit controversial, and some of those jokes wouldn't fly now. But if you look at it sort of from a 10,000 foot view, the jokes aren't on the black people.
Yeah.
It's not directly punching down. It's just a bit of territory that most people wouldn't wade into these days.
That's right. No, but what I mean is, and it shows like even the town is inbred because they all have the same last name.
Yeah.
So it's like implied they're all like family. In the town. So it's like, if anything, it's like derogatory towards like those people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. But it shows like the sheriff, he's like the smartest guy.
Yeah.
He comes up with all these cunning tricks and plans to overthrow the
He
villains and
outsmarts
stuff.
them.
Yeah, it's smart. So he's actually the smartest character in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like Blazing Saddles, like because that was a movie my dad and I watched it like when I was younger with my dad.
Yeah.
So my dad loved it too.
Yeah.
So and I've seen other Mel Brooks movies. I've seen Young Einstein. Was it Young Frankenstein? Young Einstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Young
sorry.
Einstein.
Yeah, I was like Young Einstein. So no, that was Yahoo Serious, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically. I forgot about Yahoo Serious.
Yeah, famous Aussie guy from like 1986 to 1989.
Yeah, famous, like him and Crocodile Dundee were famous for about 3 years and then no one cared anymore.
Exactly. But no, I've seen Young Frankenstein. I've seen Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yeah,
Yep.
I've seen a few Mel Brooks movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're of their time,
Yeah.
like, and there are a lot of topics which you couldn't, like, if you tried Blazing Saddles this year, like 2021,
I think
Holy
the idea
shit.
of it would work. You just need to tailor it to, there are some films and just the film, any part of the film or TV show just wouldn't work these days. I think Blazing Saddles could be reinterpreted into like a more modern context with, what is deemed appropriate and inappropriate these days. It would just, you just need to change some of the jokes and sort of retool it a bit. I don't think it would completely not work. You would just need to update it a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. What's your favourite Mel Brooks movie?
Men in Tights, for sure.
Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
With,
I love it so much.
Dave Chappelle as
Dave Chappelle.
Achu?
I think that was his first acting role.
I think so, yeah. He was so young in that movie.
Yeah. I am a sneeze, father of a chew.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless
Yes.
you. No, you don't understand. I think I've talked about Robin Hood Men in Tights in our Seinfeld podcast many a time.
Yeah, we have. No, but Mel Brooks has had some cracking films.
Totally.
Yeah, lots of like spoof kind of parody kind of films.
Yeah, that was his bread and butter.
His bread
And
and
also a fantastic Broadway producer too.
Oh, the producers. Yeah, never seen the producers.
No.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If there is ever an Australian production, we'll go.
I'd happily go.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
don't drool over the the balcony.
No, we'll probably be sitting underneath.
True.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get with the front seats.
Yeah, we'll get the peasant seats.
Yes.
Down the bottom.
They're the good seats at the
Are they?
front.
I
Yeah,
thought
I'm pretty sure.
the high seats were better because you get a better view.
Oh,
No?
possibly.
I don't know.
Although you can get nice and close, but
Yeah.
If I drilled, I'd drill on the floor.
True.
So, it's all right.
That's true.
I wouldn't drill on my doctor, who happens to be there.
That's true.
Now, I don't know if you've ever had stitches before, but there is a slight bit of pain involved. Nothing more, I would say, really, than a little prick.
Yeah, there's definitely a prick involved.
Yes, there is a prick involved.
Yeah, there's one prick involved.
Yeah, I would say there is one prick involved.
I agree. I'm not a doctor, but I agree. There is one prick.
Yep.
Larry and Jeff are waiting for the elevator to leave the building. Jeff asks Larry if he has found the one to have sex with, as he has 3 months to find a girl or a person to have sex with. Dennis goes out of the elevator. He remembers that Larry is the guy in the parking lot. He says that the receptionist claims that she found the wallet and he gave her $100 for a reward. And Larry can't believe the receptionist lied, even Jeff. It's like, what the hell? Because they're going back to go see Mel. They go back to Mel's office. Larry asks the receptionist why she lied about her finding the wallet rather than him. But she doesn't answer that. She accuses Larry of being racist to Chinese people, as the receptionist's Asian partner, also a woman, pins Larry to the wall and berates him about wanting to call their kid Tang. You're naming a kid after a breakfast juice? And she forces Larry to apologise to the receptionist, and boy, she's pretty tough.
Oh, Larry doesn't. Normally when people push on Larry, he's very indignant. He pushes back. He's like, no, I don't want to do the thing that you want me to do. Like he's hard to get an apology out of or any sort of sympathy. But I guess when it comes to physical
not good
threats,
at it. Yeah.
rather he's hard to reason. You can't unreason him out of his like ridiculous logic.
No.
But when it crosses over to physical threats, he just gives it up straight away. It's just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this woman's pretty tough too.
Yeah.
Like, pins him against the wall and everything. Yeah. Full on.
Yeah. She doesn't fuck around.
Even
especially when
Jeff has his mouth open.
yeah,
He's shocked.
especially, look, she's probably copped a lot of racism
Racial
her whole
abuse.
life.
Yeah.
And obviously, a kid is just, even though the kid is not technically theirs yet, it's extra sensitive.
Yeah, for her, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Tang.
Tang.
Wang, fang, bang, bang. You
Jesus.
can all the angs.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Mel has Larry and Jeff in his office, along with a couple of other people. I'm guessing probably maybe Mel's assistants or maybe like producers.
Yeah, I figured
or
they were like
something.
investors or producers, or they're involved in the producers somehow. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
business partners,
Oh, possibly,
or assistants, or so like it didn't seem like they worked for him
No.
because they're quite we'll find out a bit later. They seem to be on his level.
Yeah.
They're not just subordinates of his. I think
They're
they're
probably
investors.
associates or something.
investors or business
Probably
partners.
investors. Maybe they invested in the production.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe
yeah.
co-producers. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe. They have their own musical, the co-producers.
The co-producers. That's very meta.
That's off Broadway.
Yeah, that's on Broadway.
Mel tells Larry that he was floored with Larry singing at the bar the other night, and he offers Larry the lead of Max and the Producers on Broadway. So this isn't like a little sideshow sort of thing. This is like on Broadway.
Yeah.
The Producers, at the time, the Producers was a big fucking show.
Yeah.
Like in the 2000s.
Oh, it still is.
Still is now.
Yeah.
But back then, like, fuck.
Yeah.
Huge, man. And the lead, like, not like a background character, not like one line in a scene or something. No. Fucking
Lead role.
The investors, we'll call them the investors.
Yeah.
They can't believe it. They're looking around like, what? The fuck are you saying?
I think the investors do have names. I think they're on IMDb, but I can't remember.
We'll get them. Probably
We'll call the
later.
investors.
We'll call them the investors.
We'll make up our own production called The Investors.
Yeah, we will. That's right. And invest in us. Patreon.com/mishmash media. Anyway.
You are our investors.
Yes, you are. You invest in your time in us.
Yes.
Larry is speechless and Jeff can't.
You just won't get any return on those investments.
Oh, you're just supporting us. It's just support.
I know.
Yeah. Larry is speechless and says he is not a theatre actor. And Jeff, while he's shocked, encourages him to get into the role because obviously Jeff knows he'll get a good cut out of it. But
Yeah.
That's why Jeff is like, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff's not encouraging Larry to sort of challenge himself or get creative. It's just like, this will be a good payday,
Yeah,
and I
it will
get
be.
15%
Yes.
or 10%. So yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be very good. Larry, Broadway, like front centre stage.
Yeah, and I mean, Larry's more recent creative and business ventures haven't gone so well. So maybe Jeff's income isn't as high as it normally is.
Possibly.
Because
Well, Jeff and Susie are back together.
That's true.
So
But-
I think Jeff moved back in with Susie to look after their kid, Sammy.
True.
Yeah.
And managers tend to get 10 or 15% of future or of what's the word, like income as it happens. Like he's already made his money off Seinfeld. Like it's not, he's probably getting money from reruns and stuff, but he's not generating the income that he used to from Seinfeld. So Jeff's maybe not getting paid as much. So
No.
he's like, yeah, do it.
He's like, do it. Mel says that Ben Stiller will also be joining the production. He invites Larry to the next performance as Mel talks Larry up and says he was born to do the role.
Got it or you don't.
You got it or you don't. It's a Greek guy, Andreas. Something
or other, yeah.
He said, but you don't say or at the start.
Yeah.
It's like, you got it or you don't. As the duo leave, the other guy, or the investors, tell Mel it is a mistake to have Larry in the lead. Mel believes Larry is the right man for the role.
Yeah, Mel thinks he's had a stroke of genius. Like I've seen,
He's certainly had a stroke by the sounds of it. He's had something going on in that brain.
Yeah.
Do you think Mel, like fictional Mel in the Curb universe, not real life Mel, do you think fictional Mel has had he's getting older, he's starting to lose it a little bit? Or do you think he genuinely believes Larry could do it?
Yeah, no, I think Mel sees Larry as, Mel, I guess, I wouldn't say he's a visionary, but he's got his own idea of how things should be. His movies have a distinct Mel Brooks mark.
Mm-hmm.
There's something there that makes it Mel Brooks.
There's always some Yiddish in there.
Yeah, like he's not.
That's how you know it's Mel Brooks.
Yeah, like he's got a view or a vision or something like that. And producers, the stereotype is that they are sort of, what's the word? Like, they think big and they take risks and they try and push the boundaries. So I think he thinks that, it's a gamble that will pay off. I think he's just trying to inject some excitement or just take a punt or, he's seen something that he can't articulate. It's more of a feeling like, I just know instinctively that Larry will be great. I can't articulate why. Mm-hmm. He might not have a great acting resume and he might be a fucking socially inept weirdo.
Yeah.
But I can see there's just some vision that I've got that I can't articulate. That's what I'm interpreting.
Well, we haven't seen past episode 3 of this season, so maybe in the finale he does it and he nails it.
Pulls it off.
Don't mention anything. Don't send us tweets or emails telling us what happens. No spoilers.
No, and he pulled off the restaurant last season. And that was all heading towards a massive catastrophe. But it kind of worked out.
Blade and victory in the restaurant.
It kind of worked out. So maybe it's the same in this episode season.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. At the producer's performance, Larry picks up the tickets with Cheryl. Larry says he'll take a painkiller for the head pain as it really hurts. And it seems like he got the stitches. It looks a bit better.
Yeah.
His head.
I think he did.
And he's got the patch, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He obviously after he wiped up the drill and they moved past that, he obviously let the doctor do his work. Maybe he went to a different doctor. It's like, fuck you. I'm going to go to a doctor that doesn't drill and lets me use their phone.
And there's no pricks involved.
No pricks.
There's actually, there's only one prick involved.
Only one prick.
Only one prick. He pops a pill without water. And I love sometimes Larry, he has his visual gags are funny. Some of his physical comedy is pretty underrated, Larry.
It is pretty good.
It is good. Him trying to swallow the pill, just harks his neck back and his head back.
He's jerking his whole back, almost from the waist down, or from the waist up. He's he's doing a full jerk back, and Cheryl just looks so embarrassed. She's just oh.
Incredibly underrated physical comedy from Larry, in which I've noticed in seasons of
totally.
Her. Yeah, it's great. That's another fine example there. Larry spots Ben Stiller and his wife Christine Taylor, who are also in the foyer, and they greet each other. Ben says he's doing the producers, and Larry says Mel offered the Max role to him after seeing him in karaoke. Ben is surprised and asks if Larry can act and sing. Larry says he doesn't do anything. Ben doesn't believe that Mel offered Larry the role. Yeah. He's like, fuck, you're fucking kidding me.
Are you fucking with me? I think he says, are you fucking with me?
Yeah. And then Ben says, I had to think about it for a little while. And, and Larry says, I might think about it as well. And he's like, don't rush. I think he's trying to say to Larry, don't say yes. Yeah. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
I know what you're like. You worked with my dad on Seinfeld.
True.
You're like, I know who you are. Because obviously they know each other in the show.
Yeah.
And Ben's probably like,
and
Larry, you're a fantastic writer off screen, but on screen, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be working with you.
Yeah, even if they didn't have much to do with each other on Seinfeld, Larry's reputation would probably precede him, especially in the entertainment world.
Yeah.
Amongst colleagues and other professionals. So totally.
Yeah. So Ben's like, oh God, I want a better coach, a better.
Yeah. I also sense maybe a bit of jealousy because, Ben, even though at this stage he wasn't the superstar that he is now, he was on the way up sort of thing. He'd done something about Mary and I think Meet the Fockers. He was on the rise, but he hadn't reached his peak yet.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I think it was a couple of years later he could do it. Yeah.
And, so saying that, I still think he had to, audition for some roles. He had to do the actor grind.
Yeah, he had to
and Larry's like, I don't like acting and I can barely sing, and he was just offered the lead role. I think there's a bit of bitterness there as well.
I think so too. I think that's why Ben's and you can see later on Ben and Larry become almost like enemies.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Not frenemies, enemies.
Ben does a really good jerk. Ben is, I've seen interviews with him and and
He seems all right.
he seems like a nice dude.
Yeah.
You know, as nice as anyone else. But he has this ability. Some of his characters always have this like arsehole side or this jerk side.
Yeah.
And he's not like an aggressive, like in your face arsehole. It's always this like subtle, like, passive aggressive. I mean,
He does that well.
you know, you see that in Something About Mary a bit, where he's a bit like just little facial expressions and the way he says things, and you can see that coming out straight away. Ben Stiller does that really well.
He does that really well, and I was surprised to see Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think he was in Curb.
Yeah, they're really coming out strong in this episode. They got Mel Brooks, Ben Stiller.
They do.
You know,
yeah. Jeez, who else are they going to have? Well, they're going to have Jerry and Jason Alexander.
Yep.
Julie Louis.
Yep.
Michael Richards are all going to come back in season 7 for
True,
the Seinfeld
true.
episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they got other big names coming up too. Ben sneezes in his handkerchief. Oh no, sneezes into his hand rather, and goes to shake Larry's hand. Larry notices this, and he pats him on the arm as Ben looks dejected for being rejected for the handshake. And he's dejected as he's worked hard to get his role on the show, whereas Larry just had the lead role. I keep saying the lead role handed to you, not like one line and then you walk off. It's like no, if it was that. If Larry said, look, I spoke to Mel offered me like one line in the producers, I just come out and then I run back out.
Yeah.
Ben's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, oh, well, I'm looking forward to working with you or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact it's like he's going to be working alongside.
Just working.
Yeah, co-working. He'll be working alongside Larry, like as co-roles, like co-leads.
Co-stars.
Co-stars,
Yeah.
sorry. Ben's
All
like,
you need to say is he'll be working with Larry.
he'll be working with Larry. He's just like, oh my God, you could pick any other better theatre actor. You can pick like 10,000 others in front of Larry, 20,000, 30,000 better.
Yeah, at the end of this, 60-second interaction, he's annoyed at Larry because, he got offered a lead role without any effort.
Yeah.
There was no indication that he went for the lead role and got knocked back.
No.
But I think he just feels pissed off on behalf of the legitimate actor, whoever maybe would have gotten that role, you know, who would have like earned it in Ben's eyes.
Yeah, and probably someone with more acting ability. Because
Exactly.
Ben says, can you even act or sing?
Yeah.
Larry says, I don't do anything.
Yeah,
So it's
So he's pissed off on behalf of the hypothetical person who would have gotten that role in lieu of Larry. You know, someone more deserving in Ben's eyes, like a colleague who he would respect.
And someone who Ben could riff off as well. Like
Yeah.
if someone has like acting ability, like
Yeah.
as an actor for Ben, he could like riff off them.
Exactly.
And they could really get some good chemistry going. you
Yeah,
know?
he's annoyed at Larry probably just because he's Larry, and maybe Jerry Stiller, you know, said some stuff about him back in the Seinfeld days. And fourth, he didn't shake his hand.
No,
so
that's
you know,
right,
so
yeah.
in 60 seconds, Larry's like unknowingly kind of like shat on Ben a whole bunch.
And then the next episode, he's going to shit on Ben even more unintentionally.
Yeah.
Actually, the next episode's Ben's birthday party. So it's
Exactly.
named after Ben.
Yeah.
So there you go. They walk off. Cheryl asks why he didn't shake Ben's hand. Larry explains what happened with the sneezing. And Cheryl says that it's rude that he didn't do it. And he's like, but he sneezed in his hand. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? In the final scene, the producers is being performed on stage. Larry is yawning from the pill he took. Cheryl brings up the anniversary gift, and Cheryl says that there are ground rules. It's a one-time only deal, and it's only valid till midnight on their anniversary. Larry says that's the opening night for the producers with him in it, and that's the same night as their anniversary. He gazes at an actress on stage who is performing sensual moves. As I forgot the name of the character. He leans forward and begins to fall asleep. He drools on the doctor who's sitting under him.
Yeah, directly under the balcony.
Literally like Dr. Morrison, yeah. So,
Yep.
and you see like the shot of Larry and like that's a big chunk of drool that comes out of
Yeah.
his mouth. Like that's
Yep.
fucking huge. And then it hits Dr. Morrison in the head and he looks up and you see from his perspective,
Yep.
Larry up above.
Which mirrors Larry in the doctor's office looking back up at Dr. Morrison.
That's right, mirrors. I mean, but it looks further away, of course. I guess.
Yep.
But it's from that perspective.
Yeah.
And that is the episode.
Yeah, no, great one.
Yeah, I give this one 3 out of 5. 3
Okay.
Larrys out of 5.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have been a bit stronger, but, you know, this was just like a setup episode, so
Yep.
the setup episodes aren't usually the strongest. So
Yeah.
for what it is, 3.
Yeah, I would say 3.5. I agree with you in that it was mostly to establish the storylines for season 4. You know, bring in some of the major characters, Mel Brooks, Ben Stiller, who I assume they've appeared in the next 2 episodes, and I assume that they'll appear throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought the moments that were episode specific were really good.
Yeah.
Really awkward Larry, especially the Chinese adopted kid's name. That just made me laugh.
Yeah, it
because it's
did.
just so cringy.
And
he
the fact the
just
partner was Chinese or,
Yeah.
or Asian, and then she, got angry.
and it just added to the awkwardness.
Yeah.
When you find that out, and just how I think it's because Larry just kept on going and going and going, and Jeff's looking at him like, "What are you like? Stop talking!" And the receptionist is really awkward. It really made me smile.
One of my favourite parts was Larry at the bar trying to chat up the woman.
Yeah,
And Cheryl is so confident he won't pick up.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, maybe Larry might have a chance, you know? Might
Yeah.
have a chance with this girl. And then it's like...
Look, I'm sure. Obviously, you know, Cheryl's a beautiful, smart woman. You know, obviously Larry David has some sort of appeal to some women, but I think it would be a rare circumstance where he could just go up and start being Larry and people would actually find that endearing or charming or attractive. I don't think he'd have much success rate. But obviously, you know,
You'd have to find the right quirky person. He'd have
to find someone like Cheryl.
Yeah.
You know, at least, you know, in terms of what they find attractive. Because Cheryl would have to find that attractive on some level to tolerate it because it happens all day, every day.
All day, every day. She's been used to it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Or he'd have to find someone neurotic, like a neurotic woman like her.
Yeah. Just
like him, I mean.
Yeah, I've met people, obviously not as crazy as Larry, but people with similar traits where they ramble or they're a bit, you know, they're just oddballs or they're socially awkward. And sometimes they're very off-putting, but sometimes there's just something about them that you just find very charming. Like this person is very unusual, you know, they're a bit awkward, whatever it is. There would be people out there who could tolerate Larry's high amounts of Larry.
Of Larry.
Yeah.
Of Larryisms.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously his first try wasn't one of those.
But
he's got 3 months, so, you know, he's got plenty of other opportunities.
He's got pretty much his whole season to try.
Exactly. You know, and he's a rich man in Hollywood. There's lots of attractive women around and, you know, yeah, he'll keep attempting.
Keep plugging. Well, that's probably one of the themes of this season.
Totally.
Trying to get that root. Anyway.
Trying to get that root.
Trying to get that root.
Yeah.
Root, come on.
And I know a lot of our listeners are American. A root is sex. Sexual intercourse, copulation.
Not something you have with a burger or root beer.
No, or something attached. I mean, that is a thing.
Yes.
And so, keep trees steady. But a root in Australia is a fuck.
A fuck. A shag.
Have a shag. Have a
for
root.
our UK listeners, a shag.
Have a bang.
Have a bang.
Yep.
That's right. Anyway, well, enough banging on about that kind of stuff. That was Mel's Offer, Season 4, Episode 1. This was the premiere of Curbcast Season 4. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. It's great to be back after several months of not seeing you, Stephen.
Yes, indeed.
And we had a bit of a hiatus for quite a while, I think several months.
About 5 months, I think.
Yeah, of not recording. And like we said, Season 3 we recorded at the end of 2020, so they're nearly a year old, but we put them out recently. So thank you very much for your patience. But we are back in November 2021 and we're recording these ones again. And we can't wait to bring more episodes to you.
Yeah, no, it should be good. It's good to be back in front of a microphone. If you want to get in touch with us, we've got some social media. Our handle is @CurbcastPod, POD. And we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit.
Yes.
So check us out on those and say hello. And we do have an email as well, curbcastpod@gmail.com. So if you want to talk about this episode, talk about episodes we've done so far, just say hello, talk about Curb, anything, shoot us an email and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And we do have a couple of fan pages, one for Curb and one for Seinfeld. We do have Curb Your Enthusiasms. That's our fan page. That's going strong. That's like, 3.5K members now?
Yeah, it's a Facebook group.
A Facebook group, sorry.
Yeah.
My mistake. Yes, it's on Facebook. Yes.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasms.
Yeah, so it's basically a Curb Facebook community. If you want to, look at some memes, look at some quotes, interact with other Curb fans. That's what it's there for.
Yes, and we do have one for Seinfeld, a much larger one, Seinfeld-isms. So if you like Seinfeld as well, jump on those on Facebook.
Indeed.
My name's Ivan.
And I'm Stephen.
We'll catch you next week because we're going to Ben's birthday party.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Thanks for listening. This podcast is part of Mishmash Media, an independent podcast network. Follow us on social media at Mishmash Media AU or support us on Patreon. All those links are in the show notes.